Is it time to buy Bitcoin? If this is what's on your mind, pay close attention to this video. I'm going to give you some historical precedences that are going to explain what is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin next. So normally when you see a candle like this, guys, the majority of the market participants, the majority of the traders take this as the candle that basically is 100% done deal that the bottom is in. However, I would argue differently in this particular instance that the bottom is not in on Bitcoin yet because there's actually a variation of this candle. I'm looking on BTC chart, 9 months. Okay, guys, look, it's a 9-month chart on daily time frame. The reason I'm looking at that is because I wanted to capture these other instances of a variation of such a formation, which takes us back to July 8th, August 4th, 5th, and the first week of September. All of these bottoms are a variation of what just happened over the course of last 48 hours. So, to put things into perspective and context, however, it is important not just to look at the formation of the candle, but to look at the overall conditioning and the context of the rest of the chart. What you will find out, if we go back in this time frames right here, is as far as volume concerned, this drop right here did not happen on the biggest volume. The drop on August 5th, 4th, transition into the 5th, this volume far exceeds any volume on this chart on the sell side. How we're looking as far as volume right now, it is, this volume bar is exceeding, this was on this candle the highest volume bar over the course of last 30 days, but it is not the highest sell volume by far. There were other situations where the volume was substantially higher. So as far as the volume, this is probably not the point of capitulation where we could safely say that everybody that panicked could have sold. So that tells us that the sentiment is still pretty bullish, and there's probably going to be some bounces followed by an even bigger drop within the next 30 days, such as the case here. So July 8th was a situation where, actually, out of all the historic precedences, and guys, I went back just to make this video shorter. I'll tell you what I've done. I've gone and looked at 2017, 18. I've looked, 2020. I went and looked some of the biggest drops in Bitcoin and Ethereum to make sure I'm not missing anything. And what I discovered is the same thing. The bottom would be set on a much stronger volume, and it is going to be set after the lines will cross. So the next context of the chart to refer to is this line. So as you can see, the blue line, the orange line, the green line, all these moving averages, when the shorter time frame average, such as the green and the blue, will ultimately cross the orange line, that's going to be when majority of Bitcoin bottoms are actually in. So as you can see right now, we're not in a death cross formation yet, okay? We're getting close to it. You know, if you've been following 13 market moves for a while, I refer to this formation as a death hook. It's hooking in this direction, okay? It's looking like it's leaning towards, at some point in not so distant future, like next 30 days, crossing and forming the death hook. So when we go back to the July 8th drop, it was the similar thing, right? See, the green line was moving lower, the blue line was beginning to move lower, orange line was basically positioned the same way it is positioned right now, and that gives us a high probability outcome that based off the volume and all of these lines, we're not yet at a moment like August 4th, 5th. As you can see, at that moment, the lines are basically at the point where they're crossing. Shortly after that, they're crossing, and you get a third drop in the third week of September. So your bottom, okay, when it's absolutely safe to go and buy the dip, okay, happens after the death cross, okay? While you're in the formation of the death hook, meaning the blue line has not crossed the orange one yet, okay, those are where some of the biggest drops are going to take place. The third time it tested in September, clearly that was the ideal moment, okay, to be going long and buying calls. And what I'm telling you right now is not that moment. That current moment highly resembles the moment on July 8th rather than that of August 4th, 5th, and definitely not the last drop we've had that was a good size drop in September, testing the prior two levels very closely. So the question is, how do you trade this? Okay, well, clearly just wait for the bounce and short the bounce. Duh, that's an easy one. But there is another trade, okay, that is going to be highly disregarded. See, a lot of traders are going to look at this and they're going to say, well, the bottom is in, we're going higher. And overall, there's nothing wrong with that thinking, with the exception is that if you do buy calls right now, okay, well, it's clear to everyone, the bottom is in, so what's going to happen? Calls are going to be overpriced, people are going to be chasing the trade, and you're not going to make a ton of money on that. You can make a little bit of money on that. But what's going to happen is there's going to be another pullback, and I'm going to show you why. Hold on just a second. Let me make this picture bigger. Okay, so hopefully you can see this part a little bit better now. And what happens after July a drop, you have a next day is an up day, and what happens on day 3 and 4 is you have 2 down days. Now, it doesn't finish on the 4th day low, but the point is, after dropping here, you have 1 day higher and you have 2 days lower. So current situation is we're bouncing today on March 1st. And basically, it puts us in a high probability outcome that March 2nd and March 3rd, overnight, there could be some bigger drops. Not to the level of 78K, where Bitcoin dropped a day ago, but it's going to be closer to that level. So let's call that level 80. Okay, let's call it 80. And that basically means you can potentially catch a trade, entering the trade around 88 level. Now, give or take a few hundred points, right? I'm not saying, well, you got to wait till it goes to 88. I'm saying it can go to 87.5. I mean, it can go to 87.4. It could go to 88.3. But somewhere around there, right, if you catch an entry, you're basically guaranteed 2 days lower. Now, you may be thinking, well, what the fuck is that going to do for me, Leo? Well, this is right here is a trade that most of the people are not going to take because they're looking at this formation right here, thinking that the bottom is in, okay? And what I'm saying is you can have a really nice move right here to 87.5, give or take again, a few hundred points, and after that, you're going to have 2 days lower. Well, because at the point when it's going to make this move here, everybody's going to be thinking that everybody's going to be buying calls, okay? And what's going to happen next, you're going to get 2 moves lower back to back, which you can make a shitload of money with because options on certain strikes are going to be dirt cheap. And that's how you put together a potential 20, 30, even a 40x trade, depending exactly how this works out. So most of the people are going to be buying calls, seeing that Bitcoin price recovered. It's staying solidly above 84, 85K. They're going to be loading up on calls. Bitcoin is going to pump a little bit. Everybody's going to be happy, but that bought calls, but just for a moment, because the next time they're going to look at this screen, okay, there's going to be 2 red candles like this. Okay, so selecting the strike price here is extremely important, because if you get the wrong strike, okay, I'm not saying you should be bearish on the next few days to the point where you think, okay, it's going to go all the way down to 70. No, that move is coming. As a matter of fact, I'll record a video on Bitcoin proving you that it will move to a level of 62.5, 65 in the next 30 days. I've got a historical perfect match and perfect setup. But right now I'm just revealing you this simple strategy that's often going to be overlooked by the majority of the market participants. They're going to be going in, piling up in calls. Temporarily it's going to look like they're winning, and then before you know, it's all going to resolve into 2 down days. Okay, so 2 down days gets you paid big. Okay, so at this point, guys, I've shared everything with you, like, for you to be able to put this trade. But if you still don't understand how the fuck to make 20x on this little setup right here, okay, you need to get in touch with 13 Market Moves by going to 13mmtv.com, schedule a call to talk to a coach, okay? But these are easy trades. And of course, you'd need to set up your account correctly to be able to trade options on Bitcoin futures or Ethereum futures. By this trade that I've broken down to you now on Bitcoin, okay, you can do the same with Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has not bounced as much as Bitcoin. That's why we're gonna go on this trade with Bitcoin instead of Ethereum. But the trades are very synonymous, depending on the size of the account. You know, you may choose to do a trade on the Ethereum. Options are a little bit cheaper on that. An overall price, not in terms of how much you pay versus how much you're going to be able to sell them for. That's a different metric, but that is a metric you should be looking at when you're trading. So your 13 Market Moves coach can help you with all of that. But basically, understanding what I've shown you, you know the time frame. The time frame of the day is day 3 and day 4 after this candle. So basically, you wait to get into the trade. I told you when. The entry is around 87.5, give or take 500 points. You know, could be 88, could be 87.9. But that's your entry, and you wouldn't want to buy any strike that's under 80K. Ideally, once the price moves up here, you want to get a strike like 85 strike or 84 strike, because you understand that the move is not going to undercut this level. It's probably going to stop at 80, 81K, and that would be your exit. So basically, I mean, this is a very simple trade based on a historic precedence that has happened this year. You can also find similar setups. Like if you go and you pull up every Bitcoin drop, you know, throughout its history, you're going to find some similarities. And on a grander move, on a grander scale, understand that overall, this is not a capitulation moment. It looks like it is, but in the next 30 days, we're going to go through something that's going to look on much stronger volume, much bigger candle. We're going to be going and looking through some wild moves. So overall, yes, the easiest strategy, you wait short to bounce. But for the purpose of next few days, the strategy is the same. You're short to bounce, but you keep it really tight as far as the range that you're targeting, as far as the time frame that you're targeting. This is a pretty easy historic analog, guys. Okay, if you still have any questions about this trade or any other trades, or how to execute it, how to set up your account to trade options, you can click a link somewhere below this video. You can sign up using our referral link for CoinCall, and you can begin trading options on basically a lot of crypto there, not just Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, you can even trade stuff there on Litecoin or Solana or anything. But if you are in Asia, like most of our traders are, you would trade that on Binance. Depending on the country where you're in, not all Binance accounts are allowing you to trade options on Bitcoin. So if you're in the United States or Canada, then the best thing for you to trade it is to go to the link below this video and sign up at CoinCall. You'll still probably need to use a VPN, but you're going to be able to get your money in, you get your money out, no problem. So if you got any questions about that, guys, schedule a call. Again, 13mmtv.com. Easy to trade, guys. Don't miss it because you can easily make some money on this. What appears to be a small drop, like most of the people, they don't consider a trade like that. But it's never, like when you trade options, it's never about the size of the drop. Okay, there are moments when the market is crashing, let's say 4% in the day, like 150 point move on S&P 500. But the options are like $20 each. So what are you gonna make? At most, you're gonna make like 7x trade on that. But there are moments when the market is only moving 70 points and you can make 50x. So because this moment right here is going to be so overlooked by so many traders, what I'm saying is this is an easy trade when majority of the people are going to be piling up in calls. You'll be buying puts. They're going to be undervalued. And you're targeting, I mean, it's not a small move. It looks small here. But, I mean, from a target entry of around 87.5, 88, downside to 80, 81, I mean, you could get... I mean, this is a 6,000-7,000 point drop that could pay you as much as 20x, 30x, possibly 50x, depending exactly what you're going to end up paying for your options. It is possible. So, anyways, guys, study the charts, find these historic analogs, and we're still within a highly bearish sequence on everything. So, and that's what makes some of these really overlooked opportunities such a killer way to build an account, guys, because you can go 20, 30x here, wait for the bigger bounce and short it again with a much bigger account. I mean, boom. I mean, this is how some traders we have helped here at 13 Market Moves go from, 20, 30,000 to above $1 million, above 2 million. So it starts with identifying rare trading opportunities like this that are so overlooked, guys. So anyways, if you want to know more stuff outside of Bitcoin, if you want to know how to trade certain stocks or stock options or indexes or anything, guys, we trade everything here at 13 Market Moves. So if you have any trading related questions, get in touch, 13mmtv.com. But don't miss the entry, right? Don't be trying to get on it when it's going to be clear to you, oh, it's reversing, yeah, it's not the bottom. Like, your entry is everything, guys, when it comes to trading. So don't miss the entry. And if you don't want to miss the entry, the easiest way to do it is to sign up with 13 Market Moves Coach, because he will be calling you. He will be texting you, say, hey, we're taking this entry now. Drop everything for 5 seconds and execute this trade. Okay, guys, wish everybody happy trading. Let's roll. Huge week ahead.